Hello, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious about what this is or you've got a bit lost. Welcome, everyone. I'm Chattie. This is my channel, Chattie's Mad Chatter, and I'm going to be chatting away madly about reflecting on my 2024 goals and making some goals for 2025. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for popping in, and if you have been here many a time, you will know that on this channel, on my long videos, I do one continuous shot. There is no editing. That's what we're going to be doing today. Haven't got my tiny teacup to do a gimmick, but I do have a lovely Alice mug. Thank you, Vadaina. So I'm going to cheers with this one. So cheers, everyone. Clink, 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 clink. I will be pouring some actual tea into it. I do have my lovely teapot to be pouring some tea. It's just brewing at the moment. It's some Christmas tea, which is always tasty, citrusy, spicy flavours in there. Yum, yum, yum. So I am doing my last sort of sit in front of the Christmas tree before it gets packed away. And I sat here last time. I don't know why it's become a thing where I like to have Christmassy based goals. And to enjoy last bit of sparkle and just the new excitement for the coming year. And you may see behind me some guinea pig action going on because I'm next to their cage, which we didn't have last year. So this is very exciting. It's been our first year with guinea pigs. And it has been a lot of fun and hard work, but mainly fun. So I'm going to go through my 2024 goals first. I've got reading goals and channel goals. So my first reading goal was that I wanted to cut down my currently reading series. It was at 20 and I wanted to get it down to 15 to 10. That felt a lot more manageable. That's what I wanted. When I counted up my series, I'm on 22 series currently reading. So that was a fail. My second reading goal was that I wanted to read my 2022 book box books. So I had how many? I've made notes and I now cannot read them. Okay, I had 6 fairy loot. I had 11 to read, so I had 6 fairy loot books left to read, and I had 5 Shelterbox books left to read. I read 4 of the fairy loot books and 3 of the Shelterbox books, so I haven't finished. I've got 2 of each left to read, so I didn't manage that one either. I did read 3 other more recent fairy loot books and no further Shelterbox books. So didn't achieve that one either. It's going very well, as you can see. The third one, I wanted to complete my ChatTeas challenge and do videos about it. This is still something I have not done. I'm not even going to bother explaining it because I haven't done it. And we're going to leave it there. So far, no goals achieved. The fourth goal for reading was that I wanted to reduce my physical TBR. I have been very much inspired by the Read What You Own challenge, which I think most people are familiar with. If you are not, there is a link in the description box for this year's one, which is run by Olly from CriminOlly. I did calculate how far I'd got. So I had 230 books when I counted my TBR in September. And I had, for 2024, wanted to get that goal to 150. Wanted to get that TBR down to 150. So I don't think I achieved it, considering where I was in September. And yes, correct. I think I managed to reduce, oh no, it was 230 and I wanted to get it down to 150. And actually in September it was 248. Currently stands, because I did a lot of calculating today, currently stands at 256. So no, that one has not been achieved either. I also wanted to read take part in the Reading Rebellion. So I did take part in the Reading Rebellion. So that's achieved, but not according to the goals that I was measuring myself by. That was to read 24 banned books in 2024. I wanted to quarter that and read 6 books that had been challenged or banned somewhere in the country. Somewhere in the world. I read 2. I read 2 and did 1 video. So again, not great. I wanted to read more classics. That was goal number 6. I wanted to read 4. And I read 1. And I can't even remember. Oh, it was Emma. I read Emma. So that was a lovely experience, but only 1 classic, not 4. I also wanted, my goal number 7 was to read the Logan family saga by, I know her name, Mildred D. something. Apologies, I can't remember the author's name, but she's fabulous. I really loved Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, wanted to read the whole series. Never got around to buying it. It's a lot of books to get in one go, and I can't like pick them up individually because I want them to match, so I have to get them as a set in one go. And I think there's only like 4 of the series you can kind of pick up in the UK, so I was going to send off for a whole matching set. But I haven't done that because it felt like a lot of money to kind of part with, and I just wasn't at that point where it felt realistic. So that one's not been achieved. Goal number 8 was to read a range of books. So I wanted to continue trying to have half of what I read every month, global majority, some better than others. I'm going to be exploring that more in my reflection of the reading year as a whole. I wanted to read more books with LGBTQ plus protagonists. I wanted to read, have a third of what I read every month, Middlegrade. And I wanted to read more books with good disability representation. So I have got the stats for these. So out of the books I read in 2024, 39.6% of them were by global majority authors. So it's not 50%. It's more than a quarter. It's more than a third. So that's permissible, but it's not achieving the goal. So no. I wanted to read more books with LGBTQ plus protagonists. So in 2023, I read 21.1% books of my reading were LGBTQ plus protagonists. This year, 2024, I had 28.7%. So it's a small increase. So we'll take that as a win. That is a win. I've increased by 28.7%. Middle grade, I wanted to have a third of what I read. The books I read in 2024, 38.6% of them were middle grade. That's over a third. We have achieved. That's a definite achievement. So 1/4 of 0.8 of my goals I've done. Yay me. And books with disability representation, 22% of the books I read in 2024. I'm not quite happy with the stats because when I'm going through it, when I do my stats every month, I talk about disability representation in terms of physical disabilities and also in terms of neurodivergent and in terms of mental health. And within mental health, I look at grief and trauma. For this, I've clumped mental health, neurodivergent and physical disabilities all under the disability bracket. And I know that it's a lot more on the mental health side than neurodivergent and physical disability. So I'm not completely not as happy by that stat as I should be because I know I've clumped it together and that was my choice. But I thought it's gonna get all over the place if I start breaking it down even further. So I'll come back to that one later. So yes, it was 22% in 2023 disability. In 2024, it's 26.7%. So I have read more than I did last year, the percentage of what I was reading for books with good disability representation and books with an LGBTQ plus protagonist. And I have read over a third middle grade. So it's just a global majority that I haven't hit the target that I wanted to. Non-fiction. I wanted to read 4 non-fiction. I wanted to read one that was a feminist non-fiction, one that was a non-fiction about race, one that was a non-fiction about disability, and one that was LGBTQ plus non-fiction. And I have achieved that. I read 1 feminist non-fiction, but 3 others also had aspects of that within them. I read 2 non-fiction books about race. I read 1 non-fiction book about disability, and I read 6 non-fiction books featuring LGBTQ plus community. I wanted to own 2 of the books specifically from the list I set myself, and I have not bought a single one of those 4. I did buy other non-fiction books, but they weren't the ones that were on the list. So yes, essentially I did I'm taking this as an achieved goal, although it was in 2 parts and the second part I didn't do. But I'm also trying not to buy as many books, so it's kind of good that I didn't do that. And okay, that's all the reading goals. So I achieved essentially 2 of my 9 reading goals. But that's fine. That's fine. You try and sometimes you don't manage it, and that's okay. Channel goals. I wanted to host 2 read-alongs. I wanted to host an Amari read-along, which is the Amari and the Bureau Natural. Trying to talk too quickly here. Amani and the Bureau of Supernatural Investigations by B.B. Alston, and I wanted to host a Nevermore read-along. The Amari one I did. On my Discord, we read the first, second, and finally the 3rd book. Whoop whoop. And I did a live show with reading sprints for starting Amari and the Despicable Wonders, which is the 3rd book that came out this year. And that's Grover running around to the left of my head. I think it's the left. I can't remember. This side anyway, wherever that is. It is my left. It might not be your left. I can't remember the camera flipping. I'm going off on a tangent. I need you stop. Okay. So I did the Amari one. Silverborn did not come out this year. Oh, and we've got Nacho as well. They're getting very chatty over there. Silverborn, the 4th book in the Nevermore series by Jessica Townsend, did not come out this year, but it is due to come out next year. It is due to come out spring. What have you done to your hay box? What are you doing? You can't get... Sorry, the guinea pigs have just pushed the hay box the wrong way and they can't get in. Okay, I've dealt with the piggies. So yes, I didn't do the Nevermore one because the book has not been released yet. So it is due the spring of 2025 across various different countries, but hopefully by June, everyone should be able to have a copy of Silverborn, the 4th book. Fingers crossed. So yes, I did one and I couldn't do another one, so I'm taking that as a win. I did achieve that channel goal. I thought 1A and 1B. So 1B was to host a sort of book club where I read the top 5 books for the Middlegrade Readers' Choice Awards 2023 and sort of discuss them. Didn't kind of go so big with this one. I read them myself, but I wasn't like pushing it or encouraging it or kind of like doing anything specific on my channel. I was just reading them and kind of talking about it. So it wasn't really a book club. I think I kind of put a little shout out on the Discord, and Tiffany was interested in reading one of the 4th ones, which was Hamra and the Jungle of Memories. But I didn't really kind of go in for like when I was reading all the other ones. So not really, but I read it for myself. So more of a reading goal, less of a channel goal with that one. So kinda. My goal number 2 is a sad one. What are you doing? The guinea pigs are having some sort of territory difficulties going on there. Okay, Nacho wasn't letting Grover pass to get to the hay. That's basically what was going on. Grover, you've got a free... What are you trying to do now? Now they're chasing each other around the cage. My second channel goal made me a bit sad. It was to host Journeyathon 2, and I never did that. But that was a good choice for me because it's really important for my mental health. I didn't host Journeyathon 2, and I'm looking forward to hosting Journeyathon 2 in 2025. We hope. Goal number... Why have I got so many A's and B's? Goal number 3A was to schedule 2 videos a week and rein it in. I did not schedule 2 videos a week. I generally did 2 videos a week, but I didn't... It wasn't scheduled, basically, and I have come to the conclusion that scheduling is not great. Not great for me. It's just not going to work. I haven't. It's not been working, and I think I'm just going to let that one go. Just going to let that one go. It doesn't matter. And I wanted to do. So the reason I wanted to just do 2 and try and schedule them, rather than what I was kind of pushing sometimes with 3, was like because I wanted to do less booktube and do more creative in other areas. I have done less booktube, but it's been more as kind of a survival thing. Not necessarily being creative, but kind of putting my energies into other things like guinea pigs. And also I have been doing some more stuff with my church. I've been sort of doing children's liturgy and teaching First Holy Communion, and we've started up kind of like a kids singing group. It's not a choir because I'm not musical enough for it to be a choir, but just sort of more involvement and just more community feels going on. And it's been great to flex my teaching muscles again, which have been long overdue. So all of that's been really good. Not necessarily the kind of things I was trying to go. Like I wanted to do a bit more kind of like of the drawing-y, journaling-y type of stuff. So sad times, but we will continue. I'm not making sense. Basically, it didn't happen, but it's fine that it didn't happen, I think is what I'm trying to say. Oh yes, I've now written, I'm actually reading the notes I've done because I've written here yes or no, yes and no. So no, I didn't do it, but yes, because it was good for my mental health. I did more teaching and I've looked after guinea pigs and they are still alive by the end of the year. Hooray. Goal number 4 was to keep going and have fun. Yay, I managed to keep going. That's good. And I do have fun, so that's good. Goal number 5 was to watch more Booktube, and that one I have not achieved. Yeah, I'll go into that one a little bit more later on. So there we go. Basically, not really achieved my goals, but I'm kind of okay about it because the not achieving of the goals was very important to me having good mental health. I have mentioned on the channel that I've had some wobble moments this year and some moments where I have felt a bit overwhelmed and kind of exhausted by life. So I feel very proud of myself for reining it back in, stopping doing stuff and being okay with kind of letting things go. I think that's been really important. So I'm proud of me, so that's good. Okay, my goals for 2025. I am going to point out a video just here by Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe because I am borrowing her use of language. So in this video, Olivia talks about making wishes rather than goals because when you say it's a goal, it's kind of this idea of achieving or failing. And if you feel like you're failing, then it's probably not good for you, but you want to kind of encourage yourself to do things, but you don't want to like stress yourself out by feeling you've got to achieve it. So using the word wish gives it much more flexibility, and it's like, this would be nice if it happens. This is what I'm aiming to do, but if at the end of the day it doesn't happen, that's completely fine. Hi Nacho, did you find your cucumber? There is a little white guinea pig who's just like crawled up the side of the cage bars and popped back down again next to me. I should not film in front of them because I keep getting distracted by them, so that's not helpful, and I get distracted anyway. So yes, thank you Olivia for that because it's given me the language that I want to talk about it. There was also another video that I recently watched. I will link it here because I've totally forgotten the channel name, I'm so sorry, where they spoke about plans. So she mentioned having plans rather than goals because for the similar reasons. For me, plans is kind of a word I use more to stretch out my ideas and how I'm coming to do things. And this isn't so much ideas, this is like measurable things that I would like to get to. So wishes kind of suits my language a lot more. You don't need to know all of that, but I feel good for saying about it. So my main one, my big one with Booktube is I want to make sure I continue to balance my regular life with my Booktube and reading life. And like I said, just let things go if I need to. And to keep telling myself that it is okay if it comes at the expense of being less involved in the community on Booktube. I love the community, it's so fun. I have found that I have drifted away from it a little bit more this year, and I'm allowing myself to be okay with that because I've needed to do what I've needed to do because my life outside of Booktube I think has gone up a little bit of a level, and I think it's going to continue to do that. I'm just finding kind of the ages my children are at with like their extracurricular activities and things they like to do, and their social life has just kind of really gone up a notch. And at the same time, I've found I've got more freedom to do more voluntary stuff. And at the same time, my work's got more intensified, and we've got these 2 guinea pigs with us. So there's been a lot more care and need kind of within my life. So it's okay that I've not been as chatty, I've not been in sprints, I've not been sort of in the Discord chatting, and I've not been commenting Booktube comments as much. And I know that has meant I have kind of, my channel has dropped a little bit sort of within the algorithm because of that, but I'm letting it all go and I am okay with it. So yeah, my channel growth, it also comes at the expense of that. I've already mentioned, like, the more you're kind of present, the more you're kind of there, and the more you're regular with content and things, it improves your algorithm. And mine has just dropped, but it's much more important that I am okay and still having fun with this. So I would like to be more present, but I can't be, and I'm just okay with that. Yeah, and it's the expense, and I keep saying things before I read them in my notebook. Yes, it's at the expense of wrap-up releases, stat releases, TBRs, and ending up with a bit of a video backlog. I still have my November wrap-up and stats to put out, and we're in January. I'd like to get them out. I'd like to get my December ones filmed and out, but we'll see how it goes. I can only do what I can do. And the log is for me, and it'll just happen when it happens. So I am here. I am talking about reading. I love creating. It's really helping my creative, getting my juices of creative flowing. I cannot make sentences work, but yeah, I'm having a great time doing Booktube. It's working for me, but I'm also making sure I have a lot of time with my regular life outside of Booktube as well, and getting that balance right. So that is my main goal, but it's my main wish for 2025 to kind of keep that going. Having said all of that, I'm now going to talk about my reading and channel wishes, and we will see what happens with them. So I still want to continue with reading a third of what I have every month being Middlegrade, and half of what I have every month being Global Majority. And I would like my reading to reflect more of diversity and the stories that I want to read. So disability representation, LGBTQ+ representation, a wider range of countries and cultures within my reading. I'd like to see that reflected more. We will see when it happens. I wish that will happen. We will see. I'm also going to this year be adding an extra stat. I'm going to be logging the year the books were published in, and being reflective on how recent are the books I'm reading. Do I want to be thinking a little bit more about reading more backlist titles? Do I want to be pushing myself to be reading more new releases? Just to kind of see where I fall and kind of see where my gaps are, because I think you might be missing out on doing one or the other. So I want to have a little more of a look at that. I have got my 5 reading plans for 2025, and I want to be doing sort of like 1 or 2 of those a month, and making sure I'm kind of logging that. So whether that's reading one of the Realm of the Eldlings books, rereading a book, reading a new to me series that I only have one of the books in the series for, reading a veteran, reading a new book, and carrying on with my project of Can I Read Romance. And I only want to be getting 1 or 2 books out of the library each month, because I really, really, really want to be reading more of my physical TBR. So by the end of the year, I would like to have read 9 of the Realm of the Eldlings books. I want to have done 2 specific titles from books I want to reread, and a book from one of the categories of things I want to reread. I would like to have bi-monthly kind of focus of starting one series, progressing with one series, and finishing a series, just because I think that might be a fun kind of way of doing things. And I want to, by the end of the year, have read 4 books from my new releases tin and 4 books from my veterans tin. And I would love if I could get my currently reading series down to 15 books and my physical TBR down to 186. That would be nice. And I'd also like to review books on Storygraph. We'll see if these wishes come true. Realise I'm yet to drink any tea, so here is some tea pouring because it makes such a nice noise. Now I need to go add the milk. Right, I've got about 5 minutes left before my camera gives up on me. My channel goals. I would like to do Journeyathon 2 in July. That is my big goal for my channel. My second big goal for my channel, I'm really, really happy that I managed to do the Middlegrade Readers' Choice Awards again this year, and that it was better than it was last year and more finalised rather than a last minute idea. So I really want to be able to do it again for 2025. things coming up within the next few months that I want to be able to do on my channel. I really want to do my sort of book awards. So I call them the Chatties. I did them for 2022, didn't do them for 2023, and that makes me really sad. So I'm going to try and do like a double one for 23 and 24. So hopefully by the end of January, I'll have those out for you. That would be awesome, because I really want to tell you about all the books I really, really love. I'd love to actually do the Chatties challenge and update you on what that is. We'll see if it happens. I would also love to read the final 4 books for the Fairy Loot and the Shelterbox bookbox predictions, so I can look back at the predictions video and tell you which were my favourite books for that year of 2022 from those book boxes and see if I was correct. I also have a new project that I'm really looking forward to doing this year, which is called Can I Read Romance? I'm hoping to start it off in February because it makes sense, and I'll be giving you more information about what that entails, but it's basically me trying to see if I can read romance books and enjoy them, because it's not a genre I typically read, but I have recently enjoyed some. I also want to be reading, now we know what they are, the top 5 middle grade Readers' Choice Awards books. If you're not sure, I will link the winning video here so you can see what they are. And do a sort of review, vlog style, read along, do I agree with the top 5, what would mine be, kind of thing. I also really want to be focusing on this year just dabbling in readathons and not committing to them. I don't want to go all in on them, which I have done previously. I just want to focus on my main reading goals myself, mainly being getting my physical TBR down and getting on top of my series. So that's going to be the biggest goals for me. So readathons, I'm going to sort of dip in and dip out, but mainly be reading from the books I have. And I really want my book buying to be more accountable, and to have a better ratio of reading to buying in. There we go. That is all my wishes for 2025. Do let me know what your wishes are, because you know I love a chat. And if you have videos telling me about all of these, please link them down below, because I'd love to come and see them, because these are some of my favourite videos. Cheers everyone, happy reading.